The bad news is we still do not know who killed Sara. The good news is Season 2 starts on May 19th, 2021. This whodunit crime mystery is one of the better ones on Netflix. It makes you think everybody is the murderer of Sara, but in the end you are not so sure. In fact, as the season ends you are left with more questions than answers. Season 2 will have a lot of questions to answer. How long will it take to know who killed Sara, and is that the end of the story? You will have to wait to find out. Who Killed Sara Season 2 is going to change everything. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. What is Who Killed Sara all about? Who Killed Sara is a Mexican thriller streaming television series created by Jose Ignacio Valenzuela and produced by Pero Azul for Netflix. The first season was released by the latter platform in March 2021. The fiction follows Alex Guzman, hell-bent on finding out who killed his sister Sara after spending 18 years in prison for a crime he did not commit and on getting revenge on the Lascano family. The ending of Season 1 explained. The first season of the Netflix series Who Killed Sara was an exciting ride that traced Alex Guzman, Manolo Coronado, investigation into his sister Sara's Ximena La Madrid death. What secrets was Sara hiding in her new diary? Who is the skeleton Alex dug up? Why isn't Caesar in jail yet? Are any of the Lascanos going to get out of this with their love lives intact? On a lake house holiday with her brother and boyfriend's family, the rich Lascanos, Sara dies in a parasailing accident. Police discover that Sara's death was a homicide, and patriarch Cesar Lascanos, Guinness Garcia Milan, convinces Alex to take the fall. After 18 years in jail, wrongfully imprisoned for Sara's death, Alex gets out and immediately goes after Lascanos, vowing revenge against Cesar and his son Rodolfo, Sara's old boyfriend. But Alex quickly learns that Rodolfo was not responsible for Sara's death, thus beginning a winding investigation to find out who killed Sara, with Alex assisted by his new love interest, the youngest Lascano daughter, Elisa Carolina Miranda. The bulk of the finale is an extended flashback showing the details of the lake trip and the hours before Sara's death. It begins in the aftermath of Sara watching the video of a man savagely beating one of the casino's prostitutes, Flora Sanchez. She runs out of Caesar's right-hand man, Sergio's office with the tape. We see that Sara was afraid of Caesar and Sergio, who know that she's seen the tape, but we also learn that there's a different credible suspect for Sara's death, the Lascanzo matriarch, Mariana. In the flashback timeline, Mariana learns from her lackey, Elroy, that Sara is pregnant with her husband Caesar's child. She ends up taking Sara on a short hike up a mountain where she pretends that she thinks her son Rodolfo is the father of Sara's baby. She tells Sara that she's in favor of the pregnancy and will support her, but she also nearly pushes Sara off a cliff and encourages Sara to have fun when she can, and specifically to try the family's new parasail wing. Later, Mariana orders Elroy to cut the parachute harness, blackmailing him with knowledge of his past crimes and with a seductive technique. The rest of the flashbacks play out as we've already seen. Sara, Alex, Rodolfo, and Chema go out on the lake. Elroy keeps the boys from parasailing first. Sara goes up in the broken harness and falls into the lake. For extra measure, we also see Mariana talking to a dial tone while pretending to call the hospital and scrubbing the boat clean of evidence. However, before we can call the case open and shut, we see Elroy admit that he couldn't do it. That, plus the fact that we don't actually see Elroy cut the harness, suggests that he didn't actually go through with it. Unfortunately, in the present timeline, it looks like Mariana killed him in the hospital, so we'll never know whether he really cut the harness. In the final moments of Season 1, Alex finds a second diary of Sara's in the wall of his childhood home. It's a huge discovery, since Alex had been using Sara's diary as a guidance throughout his investigation. In the new diary, we see a new side of Sara. The writing includes erratic scribbles and drawings, along with a page that says, "I want to die." After reading the diary, Alex calls his girlfriend Elisa and tells her that they were wrong about everything. He also recognizes a drawn location in the new diary. When he gets there, he finds a shallow grave and a skeleton with a bullet through the skull. We see through a flashback that Caesar shot whoever the skeleton was. Season 2 cast. Most of the cast who featured in the show's first season are expected to return, including Manolo Cardona as Alex Guzman, Leo De Luglo as young Alex Guzman, Alejandro Nones as Rodolfo Lascano, Andres Baedas as young Rodolfo Lascano, Ximena La Madrid as Sara Guzman, Carolina Miranda as Elisa Lascano, Eugenio Siller as Jose Maria Chema Lascano, Polo Morin as young Jose Maria Lascano, Fatima Molina as Clara, Guinness Garcia Milan as Cesar Lascano, Claudia Ramirez as Mariana Lascano, Juan Carlos Remolina as Sergio Hernandez, Hector Jimenez as Elroy, Margot Zapta as young Elroy, Litzy as Marifer, Ella Veldon as young Marifer, Luis Roberto Guzman as Lorenzo Rossi, Ana Lucia Dominguez as Sofia, and lastly, Inaki Godoy as Bruno. Season 2 plot. The Who Killed Sara Season 1 finale showed viewers another flashback to when Sara died in August 2001 while parasailing, but we still have no idea who murdered her or whether she's even dead at all because her body is never shown on screen. Is there an interesting twist here? Netflix Season 2 synopsis reads, Alex Guzman has to face his worst nightmare, his sister's true personality, whom clearly we never knew at all. At the same time, a buried mystery corpse in his own patio becomes a ticking clock that can make him go back to prison at any time. He has no other choice than to become an investigator and put together together all the pieces that will portray Sara's true and terrible story, and her relationship with the Lescano family. Very few of us are what we seem, Sara wrote in her diary, and that was true. It's revealed that she was pregnant by patriarch Cesar Lescano, Guinness Garcia Milan, at the time of her death. Cesar is the father of her then boyfriend, giving the Lescano family potential motive to murder her and save their reputation. But is Cesar so willing to see his child die? How about faking her death and raising his child somewhere out of sight? I found out things about Sara's past, Alex says in season 2 trailer, to which Elisa Lescano, Carolina Miranda adds, if you seek revenge, dig 2 graves. That is a normal saying, that meaning that when you want your revenge, your soul also dies. More questions to be answered in season 2 and beyond. Here are some questions we feel may or should be answered, things we want to know or did not even think we wanted to know. Why are Cesar and Mariana such awful people? We know that Cesar runs a human trafficking ring, horrifically mistreats his kid, and slept with his teenage son's girlfriend and that same son's wife 18 years later. His wife Mariana emotionally and sexually abused Elroy for many years. It's been a long time since I've seen such 2 contemptible people on TV, so I just wonder if there's some backstory as to how they got that way. What could possibly force them to become like this? My guess is abuse in their own childhoods. Then, also, why is Mariana so loyal to Cesar? He's cheated on her, gotten other women pregnant at least twice, mistreats their older son Rodolfo, and has practically disowned her other son Chema for being gay, and yet whenever she's confronted with another terrible thing that he's done, like human trafficking, she defends him and says that nothing's more sacred than family. I don't understand it. What exactly is the story there? Why did the Lescano kids not turn out to be terrible humans like their parents? Rodolfo, Chema, and Elise all seemed like fairly decent, if not somewhat traumatized people, which makes me think the possibility exists that they were all raised by someone else who was a good influence on them. It certainly wasn't their parents who, as I've already stated, are truly horrible people. What is going on here exactly? How does Alex know how to manage an entire spy operation from his house? Why was Alex released from prison after only serving 18 years of his 30-year sentence? I assume it was good behavior, but the show never stated the reason explicitly. More importantly, he's also not shown to be on any kind of parole. We also get a lot of flashbacks of the 18 years he spent in prison, and through them we learned that one of his cellmates gave him the surveillance equipment because he also hates Cesar Lescano. But that doesn't explain how Alex has all the hacking and spying skills we see him display throughout the show. Why does Cesar react the same way when he finds out that Sofia and Sara are pregnant? It turns out Cesar has a bad habit of getting his sons Rodolfo's romantic partners pregnant and then trying to keep the whole thing a secret. If he's so concerned about his image, why not have affairs with women who aren't his in-laws? If he does it on purpose because he hates Rodolfo, which would not surprise me, then why does he want to keep it a secret? All of these questions will be answered relatively soon. Well, most of them at least. That all depends on how many seasons of the show will be run. Tell us what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching and be sure to check out our next video. Until then, take care!